We had discussed it at length, and at that time, I saw his point and should have followed through then, but I lost my nerve when I lost him and allowed things to drift, hoping you would do it on your own. Then why were you guys so mean to me when you started this? You needed a major disruption in your normal pattern to trigger this, and you have to admit yourself a great many people owed Alan some comeuppance. When you read your aunt's dissertation, you will see that she and Dr. Kelly predicted you would turn into an unmanageable antagonist if you didn't deal with the conflict between your outward gender and your inner person. So where does that leave us? First, do you plan to enroll in college? Vicki is going to the State University branch here this fall, and I was thinking I would too. Would you go if Vicki wasn't going to be there? Probably not. Why? I've been fighting with this feminine thing for a while and was going to give it a try this summer, but I didn't want to do it where anyone would know about it, and if it turned out that I went with what I felt. I don't think I wanted to try switching genders and university at the same time. With Vicki there to support me though, and with what has happened to me as a girl this week, I'm on the verge of deciding to try it. How much difference would it make to the bank if I decided to enroll this week? $2,000 a month, and another $1,000 if you do it as Ellen, for a total of $4,000 a month, plus access to the accumulated earnings to cover tuition and expenses related to school. Things like a car if you lived here and went locally, and an apartment and living expenses if you went out of town. And if I didn't go to school, your trust would pay $1,000 a month, half to you, half to me as long as you lived at home for room and board. And you could not touch any of the principal until age 25, then only with my approval as long as I lived. You would do that? Your father set up in his will that this was to be. I had no say in it, and I'm powerless to change any of it. Same as my trust, which will start paying me handsomely next week also. Between the three accounts, there's a little over $2 million to use as a cushion to soften the entry into our new lives. Okay, so I'm going to college, but how can I do it as Ellen? Won't they get confused when the paperwork and transcripts have a different name and gender? Aunt Lily will take care of the paperwork for you. She has done it 100 times or so now, and the fact that no public schools were involved in your education makes it simple for her. The only thing you will have to do is pass your driving test as Ellen. I take it by what you said you've decided to become a girl then? For now, but I'm not sure how much of a girl I want to become. I'm really happy as a boy between the sheets and don't think I want to change that now. You're not a virgin? May I ask if you are heterosexual or homosexual? I like having sex with girls, so last week I was hetero. Now I guess I must be a lesbian. How much has Vicki told you about herself? Quite a bit, but she said there is something very important that she needs to tell me about, and she plans on doing it tomorrow when we're at the doctor's. One more thing, since I'm to be a girl now, do I get to pick my name or has that been decided for me? Nothing's been formalized yet, and except that several people have been introduced to you as Ellen, I see no problem with you having input. We do have to decide soon, so Lily knows what to put on your paperwork. Ellen is okay, but Alan Robert to Ellen Roberta isn't too smooth. How about Ellen Rose? Why Rose? It's my favorite flower, and Vicky's too, and Aunt Rose is the only one of Dad's sisters who's kept in touch with us. She's always treated me nice, even when I was a brat. That makes sense. I'll let Lillian know when they come for dinner, which I have to get busy on. Care to help? The two of them retired to the kitchen and started working on the meal. Gert had already put the roast in the oven, so it was just a matter of peeling vegetables and making dough for biscuits, also a sweetened version of the biscuits for the first strawberries of the season. That was Ellen's favorite dessert, as she had always regarded shortcake as a whipped cream platform. Mom's was always the best as she made it from a pint of cream, not a Cool Whip tub. Dinner came and went, and the children went to the kitchen to clean up as the ladies went to the den to talk. Ellen wondered why Tracy had been so quiet and pouty on the way from school and at dinner. She found out soon enough that the diaper comment had gotten all over school by lunch, and she was now officially known as Baby Tracy. She had her skirt raised several times during the day for the amusement of students and monitors alike. They also gossiped about Stephanie's latest run-in with authority. She apparently decided to be standing up and went home stinking of Lysol after cleaning every bathroom in the school with a bucket and brush. Ellen spent the evening downloading college applications and discussing her general progress and future plans with her mother and Aunt Lily. Meanwhile, the girls watched TV and relaxed. Bedtime came without incident, although Ellen was a little surprised that Aunt Lily was staying the night again. The next morning, after breakfast, as Ellen headed upstairs to shower and dress, Lily handed her a new outfit. A soft blouse, elegant, with ruffles and satin piping over brushed polyester, and a camisole and slip set in the faintest hint of baby blue. "I wanted you to feel special today, Ellen," Lily said simply. When Ellen dressed and moved to the vanity to do her makeup and hair, she immediately understood what her aunt meant. The camisole highlighted the delicate ruffles of the blouse underneath, and the satin half-slip sent gentle, delicious chills up her legs as it brushed against her stockings and gabardine skirt. Ellen couldn't help smiling. She felt radiant. Downstairs, she brought the blue sandals her aunt had requested, still puzzled. Then Lily revealed a beautiful brushed satin skirt, a shade of palest blue that took Ellen's breath away. "I'm bringing this to school for you," Lily explained. "You'll change into it before you leave for Dr. Kelly's. I want you to look your very best, and I know Vicki will too." Ellen beamed. At school. In class, Ellen learned that poise and charm was much more than simply walking in heels. She also discovered why her instructor was known as Mr. Edie instead of Mrs. Wilson. It turned out there were two Mrs. Wilsons, and to avoid confusion, the class simply called her Edie. Under Edie's guidance, Ellen practiced the basics of feminine body language, posture, gestures, even how to project confidence without a word. After class, she left early to change into her new outfit and redo her makeup as promised. When she returned to the classroom, the other girls gasped and doohed in admiration. Even Edie smiled, but she stepped forward to gently correct Ellen's stance. Left foot half a step back, right foot forward, heel in line with left toe, right toe angled 35 degrees, she instructed. Elbows relaxed outward, palms open toward your audience, chin up, head cocked slightly right. Ellen followed the instructions and instantly felt taller, more elegant, more herself. "You look stunning," Edie said warmly. "Remember how that feels." Leaving for the doctor's office, Vicki arrived at the classroom door and tapped lightly. Edie excused Ellen, and she left to a chorus of fake jealousy and playful "have fun, girls, cheers." Outside, Ellen and Vicki smiled at each other. "You look amazing," Vicki said. "You too," Ellen said. Vicki wore the white sheath dress Ellen had picked for her and looked more beautiful than ever. In the car, as they drove toward Dr. Kelly's office, Vicki's expression grew serious. "You're going to find out some things today that might decide our future together," she said. "Are you ready for that?" Ellen swallowed hard. "I've been finding out a lot this week. My mind's spinning like a top. I'm not sure how much more I can absorb right now." Vicki smiled softly. "Then just ride and clear your head, honey." At Dr. Kelly's office, the secretary greeted them warmly and immediately ushered them into the office. Dr. Kelly stood up from behind his desk and offered his hand. "Uncle Bob," Vicki said, smiling, "this is Ellen, the friend I've been telling you about." "Ellen, Dr. Kelly is probably my best friend in the world," she added teasingly. "And definitely more protective than my dad, so be good." Ellen laughed nervously and shook the doctor's hand. "First, let's do a quick blood test," Dr. Kelly said kindly. "It'll give the lab time to process while we talk." Ellen blinked. "Why do I need a blood test to talk to a shrink?" Dr. Kelly smiled. "If you decide to transition physically, even partially, we need to know your current hormone levels. That way, we can make any future treatments safe, gradual, and tailored to your body." Ellen looked doubtful as the nurse entered. "This isn't going to hurt, is it?" she asked. "It'll feel like a mosquito bite," the nurse reassured her. "Okay," Ellen sighed. "Stab me." She turned her head away, wincing as the needle went in. It was over quickly. After the blood draw, Vicki visibly relaxed, and Dr. Kelly leaned forward, serious again. I received Dr. Ryan's report from the school yesterday, along with transcripts of your sessions. I just have a few questions before we get to the heart of things. He smiled warmly. First, how well do you know Mrs. Hannaran? She's my aunt, Ellen answered, surprised. I thought so, Dr. Kelly said, chuckling. She's also one of my doctoral candidates. Her thesis and Dr. Ryan's evaluation? Clearly the same person. I've actually been watching you develop for years without even knowing it. My mom told me about Aunt Lily's thesis yesterday, Ellen said softly. But I haven't read it yet. Dr. Kelly's eyes twinkled kindly. Then today, Ellen Rose, he said, using her new chosen name. Today we begin truly understanding who you are and who you can become. The only real question for you now, Dr. Kelly said, is how are you adjusting to things so far? I'm still pretty confused, Ellen admitted, but Vicki's helped me a lot. She seems to understand everything, and with a shrink for a best friend, I guess it makes sense. Dr. Kelly smiled kindly. What do you know about Vicki? Ellen beamed. She's the prettiest girl I've ever known. I love her so much. She's the smartest person I've ever met, and she just gets what I'm feeling all the time. Did I mention how pretty she is? Dr. Kelly chuckled softly and turned to Vicki. She doesn't have a clue, does she? Told you, Vicki said, squeezing Ellen's hand. I've been dropping hints all week, but I didn't want to hit her over the head with it. I thought it would be better if you explained. She moved her chair closer and held Ellen's hand more tightly. Dr. Kelly cleared his throat. Ellen, he said gently. Vicki's been through a lot herself. She, too, had to decide whether to live as a boy or a girl. Ellen's eyes widened. She instinctively tried to pull her hand away, but Vicki held on. Just listen, sweetheart, Vicki said quietly. Dr. Kelly continued. Vicki was never really a boy, but due to some medical confusion at birth, she was raised as one until she was 13. She was born intersex, with both male and female anatomy. The female parts were hidden, and no one knew until she reached puberty. I've seen her naked, Ellen blurted, blushing. I didn't see anything boyish. They're very small, Dr. Kelly explained, and her estrogen treatment since adolescence has made them non-functional. She's having corrective surgery tomorrow to align her body fully with her true self. Ellen sat silently, trying to process. But can she have sex? Can she have babies? Dr. Kelly nodded thoughtfully. Tomorrow's surgery will address the external structure, allowing her to experience intimacy just like any other woman. As for children, her ovaries likely don't contain viable eggs. She hasn't ovulated naturally, and she shows signs similar to early menopause. That's why she's on estrogen supplements. However, there's hope. Her mother, her 3 aunts, and her sisters have donated enough eggs for future possibilities. If needed, a womb transplant could make pregnancy possible down the line. Vicki squeezed Ellen's hand again. So now you know, she said softly. Do you still love me? Do you still want to be with me? Ellen's heart twisted, but not in fear. Only love. How could I ever not love you? Ellen said. She turned back to Dr. Kelly. But what about me, doctor? How much of a girl am I really? Dr. Kelly smiled warmly. Except for one small external difference, you're very much female inside, emotionally and mentally. Vicki and I will help you explore that. Physically, we can tailor hormone levels to help you develop without losing anything you want to keep. Ellen bit her lip, thinking. You believe I couldn't just go back to being a boy? You could, Dr. Kelly said honestly. But you wouldn't be fooling anyone. You'd just be miserable again, trapped between who you are and who you're pretending to be. Ellen nodded slowly. Turning back to Vicki, she asked, What exactly is your surgery tomorrow? Vicki smiled gently. I'll explain everything later, honey. I could really use your help afterward, though. She leaned over and kissed Ellen softly on the cheek. Dr. Kelly smiled at them warmly. I know what Vicki hopes for you, he said. She would love for you to continue developing as female, keeping your male parts functional if that's your choice. It's very possible. We can guide your hormones carefully to shape your body, giving you curves, a softer face, and even natural breast development, while preserving your masculinity where you want it. He paused, watching Ellen closely. Your romantic preference still leans toward girls, correct? Definitely, Ellen said with conviction. I'm not attracted to guys at all. Honestly, having breasts sounds kind of fun. But I want to keep Wee Willie, like Vicki calls it. Besides, she grinned, I think Vicki has plans for him already.